Artificial intelligence, or AI, is no longer a concept confined to science fiction films or the ambitious dreams of computer scientists in distant laboratories. It has quietly and seamlessly woven itself into the very fabric of our everyday existence, often in ways we barely notice. When you ask your smartphone for the weather forecast, an AI is interpreting your spoken words and fetching the information. When your favorite streaming service suggests a new series you might enjoy, it is an AI algorithm that has analyzed your viewing habits to make that recommendation. This technology is already here, influencing our choices, shaping our entertainment, and even guiding us through unfamiliar city streets with mapping applications. It is the invisible engine running behind countless screens and services we interact with from morning until night. The presence of AI extends far beyond simple conveniences. It is being deployed in critical sectors such as healthcare, where it helps doctors diagnose illnesses with greater accuracy, and in finance, where it detects fraudulent transactions to protect our accounts. The music playlist that seems to know your mood perfectly, the news feed that curates articles it thinks you will find interesting, and even the adverts that follow you across the internet are all powered by complex AI systems. Understanding that these are not magical processes but technological tools is the first step towards becoming a more informed digital citizen. We are all living within this new technological landscape, and its influence on our daily routines is only set to grow more profound in the coming years. This quiet integration means that decisions made by AI can have real and significant consequences for our lives. An algorithm might influence whether you are approved for a loan, what job opportunities you see advertised online, or even the price you are quoted for insurance. Because these systems are increasingly making judgments that were once reserved for humans, it is vitally important that we all have a basic grasp of what they are and how they work. We cannot afford to treat AI as an unknowable black box. Instead, we must begin to ask questions about its fairness, its accuracy, and the human values that are or are not being programmed into its code. Therefore, the conversation about AI is not just for tech experts or policymakers, it is a conversation for everyone. It is about the society we are building and the values we want to uphold within it. Whether we realize it or not, we are all stakeholders in the age of artificial intelligence. Its reach is already so pervasive that ignoring it is no longer a viable option. Gaining a fundamental understanding of this technology is not about becoming a programmer or an engineer. It is about empowering ourselves to navigate the modern world with greater awareness and to participate meaningfully in shaping our collective future, a future that is undeniably intertwined with the development of these powerful new tools. When people hear the term artificial intelligence, their minds often leap to images of sentient robots and all-knowing computers from films, machines with consciousness, desires, and human-like understanding. However, the reality of most AI today is far more mundane and in many ways, more mechanical. At its core, AI is a field of computer science focused on creating systems that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. This includes things like recognizing patterns, understanding language, and making decisions. The crucial point is that these systems are not thinking in the way a human does. They are sophisticated pattern-matching machines, trained on vast quantities of data to predict outcomes. This gap between public perception and technical reality is what some experts call AI illiteracy. It is the widespread misunderstanding of what these systems can and cannot do. A large language model like ChatGPT, for example, is exceptionally good at arranging words in a coherent and plausible sequence because it has been trained on a colossal amount of text from the internet. It can write an email, a poem, or a piece of code, but it does not the meaning behind those words. It is merely predicting the next most likely word in a sentence, a process that linguist Emily M. Bender has aptly called being a stochastic parrot. This distinction is not just academic, it is fundamental to using these tools responsibly. The danger of AI illiteracy is that we might place too much trust in these systems, attributing wisdom or sentience to them where none exists. If we believe an AI truly understands a problem, we might be less inclined to question its output or to scrutinize the data it was trained on. This can lead to significant problems, especially when AI is used in high-stakes areas like criminal justice or medical diagnostics. If the training data is biased, the AI's recommendations will reflect and even amplify those biases, all while being presented with an aura of objective, machine-driven authority. Understanding AI means recognizing it as a tool, not an oracle, a tool that reflects the data and the designs of its human creators. So, when we talk about AI, it is more accurate to think of it not as a single monolithic entity, but as a collection of different techniques and technologies. Some AI is very simple, like the spam filter in your email inbox. Other forms are incredibly complex, like the systems that enable self-driving cars to navigate traffic. But all of them, at present, are forms of narrow AI designed for specific tasks. They are not conscious beings. Demystifying AI means stripping away the science fiction narrative and seeing it for what it is, a powerful, data-driven statistical tool that can achieve impressive results, but one that lacks genuine comprehension, awareness, or common sense. The narrative surrounding artificial intelligence is often dominated by a relentless wave of hype, promising a future of unparalleled progress and revolutionary change. Tech companies and their charismatic leaders frequently paint a picture of AI as a benevolent force that will solve humanity's greatest challenges, from curing diseases to ending poverty. This grand vision is compelling, but a growing number of critics, researchers, and writers are urging the public to look past the marketing and examine the foundations upon which this supposed empire is being built. They argue that the industry's grand promises often obscure a more complicated and sometimes troubling reality about how these systems are made and what they are truly capable of. In recent books like by Emily M. Bender and Alex Hanna and Karen Howes, these critical voices challenge the very premise of the AI boom. They argue that the idea of large language models being on a path to true intelligence is a scam. These authors suggest that the industry's marketing relies on our tendency to anthropomorphize, to see human-like qualities in non-human things. We are so impressed by a machine that can talk to us that we fail to see it as simply a sophisticated mimic. This critique is not anti-technology. Rather, it is a call for honesty and transparency about the technology's limitations and the immense human labor, often hidden and poorly compensated, required to build and maintain these systems. The media's portrayal of AI often reinforces this hype, focusing on sensational stories of superhuman capabilities or existential threats posed by rogue AIs. This framing creates a polarized debate between utopia and apocalypse, leaving little room for a more nuanced and practical discussion about the technology's immediate, real-world impacts. The focus on far-off hypothetical risks can distract from the concrete problems we face today, such as algorithmic bias that perpetuates social inequalities, the environmental cost of training massive models, and the erosion of privacy through constant data collection. Algorithmic bias that perpetuates social inequalities, the environmental cost of training massive models, and the erosion of privacy through constant data collection. The critics argue that we need to shift the conversation from what if AI becomes conscious, to how is AI affecting our society right now. This pushback against the dominant narrative is crucial for fostering a healthier public understanding. It encourages us to approach claims about AI with a healthy dose of skepticism and to ask more pointed questions. Who benefits from this technology? Whose labor is being used to create it? What biases are embedded within it? By listening to these voices of caution, we can move beyond the simplistic depiction of AI as either our savior or our destroyer. We can begin to see it as a complex socio-technical system, one that requires careful scrutiny, democratic oversight, and a public that is educated enough to separate the genuine potential from the carefully constructed illusion. The mix of fear and excitement that surrounds artificial intelligence today is not a new phenomenon. Throughout history, transformative technologies have often been met with a similar blend of utopian hope and dystopian dread. The anxieties we feel about a mechanical kingdom have deep roots. As far back as 1863, in a letter to a New Zealand newspaper, the writer Samuel Butler warned of a future where machines could evolve to the point of supplanting humanity. Writing under a pseudonym, he imagined a world where machines developed consciousness and humans became their subordinates. This early speculation, which later informed his novel, shows that our modern concerns about AI are part of a long tradition of grappling with the consequences of our own ingenuity. Just as Butler's contemporaries had to navigate the societal shifts brought about by the Industrial Revolution, we now face the challenge of navigating the AI revolution. The lesson from history is not that we should dismiss new technologies out of fear, but that we must engage with them thoughtfully and proactively. The transitions of the past were often disruptive, creating new forms of wealth and opportunity for some, while displacing others and creating unforeseen social problems. By examining these historical parallels, we can appreciate the importance of foresight and deliberate planning. We have the benefit of hindsight, allowing us to anticipate potential pitfalls and work to mitigate them before they become entrenched. This is why cultivating a broad understanding of AI is so critical at this moment. The choices we make in the next few years, as individuals, communities, and societies, will profoundly shape the direction this technology takes. If we remain passive consumers, content with the magical illusions presented by tech companies, we risk ceding control over our future to a small group of developers and corporations whose priorities may not align with the public good. An informed public, on the other hand, is better equipped to demand accountability, advocate for regulations that protect human values, and ensure that the benefits of AI are distributed equitably rather than being concentrated in the hands of a few. Ultimately, learning about AI is an act of civic responsibility. It is about claiming our agency in a world that is becoming increasingly automated. It empowers us to distinguish between what is real and what is hype, to support policies that foster innovation while safeguarding our rights, and to envision a future where technology serves humanity, not the other way around. The ghost of Samuel Butler's Mechanical Kingdom serves as a potent reminder: the future is not something that simply happens to us. It is something we build, choice by choice.